Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. For the video today, I'm going to be looking at some wedding dresses, and I thought it'd be fun to share with you since I do have an upcoming wedding, hopefully not getting derailed by the current pandemic. I think it was very up in the air, and I've probably said maybe once on my channel that I didn't think it would go ahead this year, but now I'm thinking it might since restrictions are getting lifted. Obviously there was a certain point where weddings could only have 2 guests, so bride and groom, celebrant, and then 2 guests, and even though we're having a small wedding, it's not that small. But I think by the time our wedding rolls around in 2 months, or roughly 2 months, the restrictions will be lifted enough to have all of our guests, obviously excluding the overseas guests coming, my sister and her husband, but it's looking like it's happening, and that's great news. I'm very excited to get married. It's been a long time coming since the day that we set for our wedding is actually going to be Bran and my 11th anniversary. So that's obviously a long engagement, a long time dating. We've been engaged for 6 years at this point. So it's been a long time coming, but in saying that, I still don't have a wedding dress. I think this happened mainly because we obviously dated for a bit, got engaged, and I knew that the wedding wouldn't necessarily happen too quick since we're adults, we live together, and I think we kind of both knew that a wedding really wasn't going to change anything for us. It's still something we want to do, obviously, that's why we're getting married, but that's more for the celebration with friends and family. But we kind of weren't rushing to get married, obviously, and we had big life things going on. Cue to this year, where we finally set the date and a global pandemic happens. So maybe we should have gotten married earlier, but hopefully all still goes ahead. I think what I'm trying to say is that obviously at the start I didn't think that I needed to pick a wedding dress since I knew the wedding would be a little while off, and then life happened, I didn't pick one, I knew that the time was coming, but around the time I probably should have been starting to look was when all these rattlings of news came out about the pandemic. So it's been a bit of a tricky situation, but it seems like it's coming to an end, so I need to get my ass in gear and get a dress because it's coming really quick. I mean, roughly 2 months away and I still don't have a dress. What am I doing? But I am going to try and rectify it today. So I think I'm just going to look at a few websites. Obviously, I'm not going out to shops, but I thought this could be fun to share. I'll just show some websites, show some dresses that I'm looking at, and also dresses that I would have picked a few years ago when I got engaged, because my style has definitely changed over the years. But I think with all of that being said, I'm just going to jump right in and probably start with some dresses that I looked at originally after I got engaged. So there was one really lovely dress I wanted to find, and this is on a website or a brand that doesn't actually make clothes anymore. They're Wheels and Doll Baby, and I love their things. They still sometimes do their cardigans, which are very popular and famous. Their collaboration with Dita Von Teese, and I've got quite a few of them. I love them, but main clothing, other pieces and things, they don't make anymore. So let's just see. I think it was the Gilda gown. This is actually something that I nearly bought too, right after I got engaged, but I just didn't. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like I said, my style's changed a little bit, but I think that this is still a really pretty dress, and I would potentially still want to find something like this, but yeah, I just haven't seen anything quite exactly like it. I obviously like the fact that it is nice and curvy. I do like the look of fishtail, but I don't know if I can pull it off because of my height. I think that's also part of the reason why I didn't buy it, but I love it as an idea, although I might mention this a few times or sort of steer clear of certain dresses. I don't necessarily want too much cleavage on my wedding day. I don't know. I guess I'm a traditionalist that way. But I still want something sexy. I still want something gorgeous and pretty, just not too low cut sort of thing. But that is an idea. I think it's also tricky as well since my wedding is on the smaller side and it's a little bit more low key. There are definitely styles and dresses that I love the look of, but they really wouldn't suit. But in an alternate reality, that may have been the dress that I would have picked. Anyway, moving on, there is another website I wanted to show really quickly, just showing some more sort of old school Bekki style, and one of these is a local brand. Kind of like before, another website or brand that doesn't seem to make dresses anymore. So it's a good thing I didn't want a dress from these guys, but they're called Silver Sixpence, and they were a local brand or local wedding dress company. Let's see if I can still find some pictures for the rough idea, but it was just very vintage, inspired 1950s style wedding dresses. I don't want pictures of coins, I want pictures of... Now, I don't know if I mentioned any time in the past on my channel, but this brand I actually did some modeling for. Nothing super exciting, but I remember this actually happened right after I got engaged. I saw that on their social media they put a call out because they wanted models for kind of a wedding expo. I think that it was mainly them as a vendor and a few other local ones in the Brisbane area, and I put my hand right up just because they needed someone in my size, and I got chosen. I don't know how many other people put their hand up, but I was super excited at the time and it was a lot of fun. I do remember though on the day I was incredibly sick, so I had a lot of cold and flu medicine, but I went there, got my hair and makeup done, got some pictures, sort of walked around the expo and showed off the outfit I was in, and I really liked it. Although that was kind of a defining moment in realizing how I like my makeup done, because I think that was the first time that I've had makeup done by someone else that wasn't like my mum or something when I used to do dancing, and I wasn't so much a fan. It looked nice, but it just didn't look like me, and I didn't think that was a good thing. Plus, Bren kind of agreed. He wasn't a fan either, so I think that kind of cemented the idea in my mind then that I'd be doing my own makeup definitely on my wedding day. I'm not great at hair, but I'll figure something out on the day. But yeah, I kind of think that it's probably best to look like yourself on your wedding day. I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can find something just to give you an idea, because I don't think that these wedding dresses are from that brand, but I guess it doesn't matter anyway since they don't make clothes anymore. Probably a few of these are. I know this one is. It's just vintage inspired, as you can see. I'll see if I can put some pictures in of what I wore as well on the day, but yeah. They were just cute sort of 50s style dresses, and I don't think they were too expensive either, and yet they were all custom made. So really lovely, and plus it was a nice idea because it was a local company. But obviously not choosing that because my style has changed over the years, and also they're clearly not making dresses. But let's move on to some dresses that maybe are on the lower cost end that I'm just going to explore and see if anything I like. Don't judge me, but I'm going straight to show post since I think that I've heard they do wedding dresses. And there's wedding shop, so I think I mainly just wanted to have a look at this to see if I can find any sort of diamond in the rough here. I think it's appealing to try and get something slightly lower cost. Obviously everything in my wedding is budget, but especially the dress, just because everything is on the lower end. I think it'd be weird if I wore a super extravagant gown at my wedding, just because obviously it's more scaled back. But let's see what we can find here. Maybe there'll be something nice. There is a lot of white, obviously. I don't think I've said yet, but I'm not such a fan on going for white. I think it really just doesn't match my skin tone and hair. I wear a lot of white these days, but I don't think I necessarily want that on my wedding day. I kind of like this, although I do remember putting up an Instagram poll sharing some dresses a few months back, and my mum made it very clear. She's like, oh, I don't think you should get a wedding dress with a slit, but I won't be sticking my leg out if I get one. I like the idea of off the shoulder. I think for myself that my arms, while I don't hate them, I think that there may be a little bit of a problem area. As much as I don't like to use terms like that too much, I prefer to kind of cover them up if I can help it. I don't like asymmetrical, but I like the idea of having something sheer. There are some nice ones, and admittedly they're obviously lower cost, so this is, I don't know if I like that one or not. I think it's the straps, but anyway, moving on. So I I didn't find anything that I necessarily would pick from there, but I think that they are a nice price point. Now I think Forever New, and that's an Australian brand, do some wedding dresses I've seen on social media. Now I want to make it clear as well, I am not necessarily just trying to find a wedding dress. If I find a dress that is a bridesmaid's dress or just some sort of cocktail dress, I'd happily pick that too, because I don't really necessarily want something super conventional. I would be keen on maybe getting something with a bit of colour or off-white, like I said. So on this website there is only one streaked wedding dress, but I know I've seen some nice dresses in their wedding section, so maybe it's a bridesmaid. Okay, I've seen this dress before, and this was actually something I wanted to wear to, like, as a guest to someone else's wedding, and I love that colour. Something I've got to take into consideration is that my wedding is in winter though, so I don't want something too strappy or cold, since I feel the cold a lot, and I don't think I can wear a jacket with my wedding dress. These are very bold colours. I think maybe pink would be more suitable for a wedding dress if I go for colour rather than the green, but I do like that sage green. Even though this is asymmetrical on the skirt, I don't mind that as much than if it was on the shoulders. But again, I think it might be a little bit too cold for me. Good prices though. Should try one more area, maxi dresses. They are all colourful again and a lot of black. So probably nothing there, but I'm just going to try another more fast fashion website. Let's look at Meshki, because I know they do wedding dresses and nice cocktail dresses as well. So maybe I can find something here. I think if I find some ones I'm considering, I might set the link aside and sort of think it over. I'm not necessarily going to buy one today with you, unless it jumps out at me. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't know if I want a maxi dress section. Bride, okay. Okay, this one's actually really quite nice. It is fishtail like that other dress I looked at, but because it's a square neckline, it's obviously not showing too much cleavage or anything like that. This one's nice too, and I think I would like the look of it, but I don't know. I think I definitely want just a little bit more mystique on my wedding day. Wedding night dresses. So I think that this one is kind of, it's not super trendy, but it's not timeless. I still like the style of it. The cut on the front is interesting. It might be a little bit too extra for my wedding, but I think that's kind of the first one that I've sort of seen that I think could be an option. And maybe accessorize the right way and having my hair the right way, it could be fine, but I don't know, something about it just doesn't seem like it'll be right for my wedding. However, I think ignoring that, it's a style that I like, if that makes sense. So I'm going to close the tab. I don't need to keep looking at that one. But I don't think I saw anything else, unless I try some of their non-bridal dresses. Let's see, formal. My sister got a dress from them for, I think, a ball or something, and she said that I should try them for my wedding, just to see if there's anything. So let's see. I do like some of the silver. This one's nice again because they're not too low cut, showing a lot of back, and again it might be a little bit of a cold one, but I still want to have a little look. Cowl neck. I think that's kind of a flattering style. I have a dress from, oh god, what's it called? It's going to annoy me. It's that purple silk dress that I wore to my sister-in-law's wedding. That was sort of cowl neck, and I feel like it fit me pretty well, and it was flattering without being too, sort of, showing too much skin. Very backless. I really want to find that. other dress now. I wonder if they have it in white. And it was Natalia dress on Born to Be Chic. Let's see what they have. Maybe they have something. Just in general, I do like a lot of their dresses, especially this Natalia style. I just feel like it fit and not flares, but it sort of goes over every curve really nicely. Plus, I know the fit of it is quite good for me. Just closing some tabs. Now, can I narrow anything down? Let me just see if they have Natalia in white. I'm kind of facing the realization that if I leave it too long, I might need to buy sort of a quick dress, and something like this could work if I don't find anything else, but they don't have it in plain white, it seems. I think if I got married in the summer, this is the sort of dress I'd go for. I really like that style at the moment. I know it might not be super timeless, but I definitely like that specific 60s inspired look. So sleeves and like a mini style dress. My mum would hate it, but I think it would be fun. I think another big inspiration I have, and this is very random and not suitable for my specific wedding, but a style I've always loved, is Elvis and Priscilla Presley's wedding. I love her dress. I can't find anything on this site, so I think I might actually jump into some sort of grand websites where I've seen really beautiful dresses. The price definitely jumps up a lot, but I think they're really gorgeous. So I think the first one I'll go to is Chotronette. I think that's how you say. Let's see. Now these, if anyone's having a little look, I'll just put in USD. They have a specific bridal section I see, but I think any of their dresses in colours or different shades of off-white could be really lovely still. So I might just select a few. So there's a lot of florals, there's a lot of sort of puffy skirts. I think this is a brand that I found on Instagram. And obviously they're really beautiful, very intricate. Prices are still not in dollars, but I can fix that in a sec. Just rapid fire opening up a few to show a short list. Okay, the price has changed now. So I'm mainly kind of looking at some that are just off-white, like beiges, sort of greys, creams, light pinks, or even having white with flowers on it. I think could be really pretty. The names on these are really cute as well. Silver icing, sunset sorbet, silver mousse. I think there's a lot I'm seeing that I would really like, and a lot that I think I could wear, but I don't know, nothing's really grabbed me, which is frustrating. And it's maybe tricky because I'm doing this online. I haven't gone into shops and tried them, just because I don't think a traditional wedding dress is really the sort of thing I want to go for, obviously. But I know I probably won't have that moment of feeling like this is my dress if I'm not going into a shop and trying it on. But I still hope that something will jump out online. Nearly at the end of this site. Oh, that's pretty. This one reminds me of Midsummer, which I really like this dress, but maybe that's not the best wedding inspiration. Okay, I think with that, I've probably got enough choices. So I'm just gonna go through these tabs and let's see. Let's make a short list, and then I don't know, if you've got other websites as well, by the way, that you think I like based on what I'm sort of looking at and the things I'm describing, definitely let me know, because like I said, I really don't necessarily think I'll buy one today, but if you could help me pick something, that would be fun. This is pretty. I'm kind of just seeing if there's any cons. Love the colours, love the, I thought it was embroidery, but that's sequins, okay. but I think that it is too low cut for me. This one, beautiful, fun, sparkly. I like the cut of the dress, but I kind of wish that it wasn't glittery. I know that's what makes it fun, but if it was just a little bit more simpler, I think it would suit my wedding a lot better. But still, I love this one, that's beautiful. This one was a bit hard to see, I think, because of her tattoos. The model is really pretty, obviously, and her tattoos are cool, but I'm just trying to see if I like this dress. Obviously, there's a lot of white ones with this similar floral motif, sort of embroidery. I don't even notice the pearls, that's very intricate. But I don't like the boning on the outside. It's funny, there are lots of styles and embellishments on outfits and pieces of clothing that I like in general, but I don't necessarily want for my wedding dress. I'm sure that other brides or brides-to-bes can relate. Again, I thought this was more embroidery, but it's glittery. I guess there's a bit of embroidery. I like the fact that it has that sort of, I don't know how to describe that, cape? I wish there were more pictures because that is very interesting. Now this one's got a cape. Wow. I mean, that would keep me warm. Funny downsides with each one. I think I don't like the fabric that they used on the main part of the dress. I don't like the wrap on the bust line and also the spots on the skirt, but apart from that, I think we're getting a little closer. I think I picked this one because of the colour, but again, I just don't think I can do an asymmetrical neckline. Oh wow! Look at those sleeves, come on, load. That's interesting. It looked more low cut on the model, and I didn't realise that it has a sheer panel on the décolletage, so it kind of covers up a little bit. Something I really like about this, and I don't know if you'll get it, but I see sort of medieval inspiration on this, and as crazy as it is to say, I definitely like that style. Medieval inspiration on a wedding dress. I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave this on a shortlist. Those sleeves look so fun. It looks like it'd be a warm dress. I think even though it's got embellishment and detailing, because the cut of it is quite simple, excluding the sleeves, this is something that could work. Although you need to go on a wait list. I'll leave it on my shortlist and come back to it. Frozen yogurt. I love the sort of butterfly or flowers or whatever they are on the sleeves. Some things I'm just picking because they're pretty. I'm not necessarily thinking that I would pick them for my wedding dress. Hard to get a good image on what the top looks like. From what I can see, it's pretty. I really like the sleeves. Again, I'm really thinking that I want to get something with a bit of a sleeve. I think it's a bit too low cut. Just for a lack of pictures and more information on what the front looks like, I think I'll need to skip that one. Now this is a dress that I've actually been looking at for a while. I think it's something that's appealed to me because of the sleeves, the length. This is actually the one, I think I made a comment before how my mum said, I don't like the idea of a slit in a wedding dress. This is the one that she saw when I was getting people's sort of opinions on this website or the dresses from them. I really like the colour splash on this one. Just that floral embroidery is so pretty, so delicate. I think because it has that fun embroidery, it makes it less serious and dressed up which for some people might be a problem, but for my sort of wedding, and because it's really just a small ceremony and then a dinner, I think that this could kind of suit. I don't know. I didn't even notice it's got little bees on there or something. This one's really adorable. I don't know. Let's leave that one on the shortlist. This one again was one I just wanted a closer look at because I saw this picture which looks really beautiful, but I think it's been color corrected because this looks a little bit more orangey beige, which is not something I'm super keen on. Still looks pretty, but just not for me. What else do we have? This is again a little bit of medieval sort of inspiration that I'm gravitating towards. I like these stylized pictures and they're very whimsical and pretty, but they don't really make for the easiest way to see the dress. I'm back, I got cut off somewhere, so my commentary on the dresses obviously has disappeared, but let's have a look at some more. So this one, and this specifically, I see that it's Kelly Eden. I think that's who I saw talking about this brand when I first saw it. Well, I like the cutout, and I've got definitely a few things that have little heart cutouts on the décolletage and above the bust line. I don't think it's for me on my wedding day. Silver icing. I like the style of this one, the cut of it and everything. Looks very different in these bottom pictures to the top ones, which makes me wonder. I think that these bottom pictures are probably more true to the colour, right? It makes more sense for it to be edited a bit if it was on the wedding day, let's assume. I mean, it's in a dark space for the photos, but maybe it's a bit too dark grey. I think this is another one that I really liked just when I've sort of passed by the website before. I like the simple sort of embroidery. I love the sleeves. I think this is a picture, if it'll load, that I saw on Instagram. Just that embroidery in the back is so beautiful. I feel like it's not as interesting as some of the other ones, but it's still really lovely. I don't think there's anything bad I can say about this one, so I'm going to leave it on my shortlist. This one's nice, but maybe a little bit too conventional for me. Again, the same with this one, I think. So this is one that I do really like. I know it jumped out in the long list of pictures there, I think for the pops of colour. And I like the fact that it's not like a harsh white or anything. Obviously it's more of a beige with those colours on top. So this is really lovely. I don't know why some of these prices popped up in US and some didn't. Another perk I think about this one is the fact that it's not too long, because I'm on the shorter side. I'm 160 centimeters, or I think 5'2". So I think I'd be swamped in a full-length dress, or obviously I can take it up myself, but I still think me being so short, having a full-length dress might look a little bit funny. So this is another route to go down. I'll leave it on the shortlist. It's that dress that I picked because I thought it reminded me of Midsummer. Something about the traditional outfits combined with that big flower dress at the end, probably because of all the colours. I didn't open the link because I thought it was a serious contender. I just wanted to have a closer look. I'm really impressed by the embroidery. And then this last one. I do really like the colours. I like the design, and it's funny too because this shape and style is kind of like a lot of those dresses I was looking at 5 years ago when I was really in my sort of pin-up and vintage inspired phase. This is the sort of cut of dress that I definitely would have gone for because it's obviously fit and flare, but it seems a little bit too springy for my wedding. So I might close that tab, and I've got 5 on my shortlist here. So the silvery one with the beautiful sleeves, this beautiful blueberry ice cream one with the purple and blue, the slightly medieval one, simple floral, and also the shorter cream one. But now I'm just going to look at one more website. I think this is kind of similar but still different in its own right. Teuta Matoshi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but maybe you've seen these dresses before. They're honestly so beautiful. This is another brand that I've seen pop up on Instagram. I think first up, this is a new dress that I've seen. Gosh, Pink Mimosa. This one's so beautiful. It's covered in, I don't know, a million little pearls. I love the sleeves. I love the color. The embellishment makes it fun, so not too serious. I mean, look at that. This is just princessy and beautiful. I think I said this is a new one, so I haven't seen it for long. I saw it on Instagram the other day, or today, who even knows anymore. But I saw this and thought that that was maybe a contender. So I'm gonna leave that open for sure. And now basically anything I scroll past, I love the look of so many of these, but I'm just gonna try and narrow down a select few that I think could be workable for myself. And holy shit, there's 36 pages. So I'm gonna try and not ramble. And I think what I might do is scroll and come back and review with a bit of commentary when I have some selected choices.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds, because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark.
So I'm just scrolling through. I notice a lot of these, okay, I'm not going to open up every tab I see, but a lot of them I really see Disney princess inspiration, like hello Ariel, that's beautiful. I don't know if it's intentional or if it's just me reaching because I'm a Disney freak, but let's continue.
You can take me high. Feels like I can fly.
Now there's a very popular dress that I know I've seen all over social media. I've seen them post it, I've seen other people post it, and I haven't seen it pop up yet in the pages. Is it still here? That's what I want to know. Let's see. Why can't I find that one? It must have gotten lost in the shuffle. But now that I've got all of these tabs open, I'm just going to start working through. Alright, so that's where I finished with the Chotronette, and I'm just going to start opening up these. This dress, the pink Amelia gown, I've seen both the brand posted a reasonable bit on Instagram and also people I follow, so it's beautiful. As you can see, I love the colour, I love that glittery fabric. I mean, it's just magical. Look at the way it catches the light. It is a princess dress. I think I didn't really want to have too much cleavage showing, and while it is lower cut, I don't think it would show too much, although it's hard to tell with the model. I think we're very different body types, but I love this one so much. I think it would be a little bit too extra for my wedding, but I just love this dress in general, so it pains me to close this tab. This one, obviously, I spoke about a bit when I first opened it, so I'm just going to move on to the next one, but I'll leave that in my little shortlist. This one I opened because, again, clearly I like embroidery. I like the cut of it. It is like sweetheart neckline, but it's covered in this sheer fabric, so it's still, I think, it's still a little bit conservative. I think this one as well, some of the pictures make it seem slightly green, although I do see, details say it's a light green colour, which is very unique, but I think ultimately maybe this shade of green, just being off-white, slightly green, wouldn't work necessarily for my colouring, but still, a lovely dress. This one is one that I've seen and been looking at for a little while, and I think this is one that I used in that little Instagram poll a couple months back, just because this was one I was considering buying at the time. I think it was around Christmas. I just like this one for its slight, I guess, medieval sort of style, and I don't know if anyone else sees that, but it's the vibe I get from it. I love that little sash belt. I'm not the biggest fan of gold, but I think the gold and white is just so delicate and so pretty, and having a close look at it, you can see it's slightly off the shoulder here, or it comes just off the shoulder, but it's got that sheer panel, so you know it would stay up. It's got a bit of sleeve. This one's so pretty. It's again a princessy dress. I think the colour, for the fact that it is literally white, isn't obviously my top pick, but I think everything else about it is so beautiful, and it couldn't be in any other colour, could it? So this one might have to stay in my shortlist, even though there are many things I've said. I didn't necessarily want white, but I think everything else wins, so it's staying. Now this next one I had to open up. As impractical as it would be, I do like the idea of a wedding cape. But I'm not sure what that embroidered sort of, it looks like polystyrene. I want to see what that is. Is it just flowers? It's hard to see. From there it looks like flowers, but I'm not the biggest fan of the colour. I just wanted to gaze at the cape, or cloak. It's called a cloak. That's really pretty. I think if I had more of a like extravagant wedding, there were sort of considerations I had about having an outdoor wedding at my family farm. Didn't run it past anyone, but that's the sort of dress I'd go for. Just a beautiful outdoorsy sort of dress, but obviously not what I'm picking, so let's move on. This one I opened again because I'm a sucker for embroidery, and again it's got a lot of green tones, which I do like the look of, but having a closer look, it's just not up there with many others. It's still beautiful, but we're gonna have to close the tab on that one. I think I opened this one because I saw this image, the main picture here, and thought that it reminded me of Cinderella's dress. So not the original Cinderella, but the new one, the live action. I think that I'd like it a lot more if it was all over one colour. It still looks nice with the multiple colours, but I'm personally not a fan of that. So I'll just have to move on to this one. Another princessy dress. This to me is very Rapunzel. Look at those blends of purple and pink. This is just tangled Rapunzel all over to me. I love that unique strap. That is really pretty. And for some reason, I sound like a hypocrite, for some reason the different colours on this one really seem to work, and I really love the look of that. As beautiful as it is, I don't think it's suited to my wedding when I really realistically think about it, but it's still nice to have a look at. Let's go on to the next one. So I think this is similar to that first beaded one. Different style, because it's got those straps and off the shoulder sleeve. It's hard to pick which one I prefer. No, it's not. I prefer the pink. Purple, still beautiful. I think if I hadn't seen the pink, this one I'd want to keep in my shortlist, but after seeing the pink one, I prefer the pink. Now this one, again, it's fishtail, and obviously it's sequins. This is really lovely. Obviously it looks like a mermaid's tail, but all over. Pink, it's got the belt, so you know what cinch you in. I like the fact that it's long sleeved, so I know it'd be warm enough. And for some reason this one seems like the most casual out of the bunch. It's pretty, but it makes me wonder if other people would outdress me on my wedding day. So I might have to pass, but maybe even just for like a special event, this dress would be beautiful for that. So I'm gonna kind of lock that in the memory bank. Now I think this one is another one I opened because it made me think of Cinderella, the new live action. I love a lot about this dress. We know I like off the shoulder. I love a sleeve. I love a princessy cut. Sorry mum, it's got a slit in it, but this is really lovely. Like I said, I have played with going for a bit of colour in my wedding dress, and this is obviously very colourful. I think all the other ones are slightly pink or cream tones. This is kind of far away from a traditional wedding style in its color and everything like that, but it is really beautiful. I think that it would be nice to sort of stand out a little bit and have something different, and I think that the sort of color tie that Bren is going to go for is something along the lines of blue, because that's one of his favorite colors, and believe it or not, blue is one of my favorite colors. I know I wear a lot of pink, hello, but blue is probably my favorite. I think I might leave this in the shortlist and then I can narrow it down off others. We'll have a little playoff at the end. This last one, again, I opened because I've seen it a lot on Instagram. It's low cut, so I wouldn't wear it on my wedding day. And don't get me wrong, I love low cut. I like to show off my assets, but it's just not the vibe I want on my wedding day. I'm gonna have family there. I'm gonna have pictures with them. I just want to be a little bit covered up. Not a lot, but just a little bit covered up. But still, this dress is a work of art. I love the cut of it. This model looks gorgeous. I love the flowers. I love the sleeves. Again, it's got pearls or little beads, so it's kind of similar to that pink mimosa one, but just more low cut and more flowers. I love the color too, and that little belt is really sweet, but I just wanted to have a look at it. Not going to be a wedding dress, but still a beautiful dress. So now let's see. I think I'm just going to work off the shortlist I have. I've got 8. Surprisingly more from Chotronette than the Matoshi. And I thought that I prefer the Matoshi dresses, but let's just narrow some down. I think I want to get a shortlist of about, let's just cut half. So this first one, I keep changing my mind about the grey. I love the sleeves. Clearly the model here is pale and has light coloured hair similar to me. It's really hard to see from the lighting, but she doesn't seem washed out. I'm going to come back to it, but I'm just reassessing my thoughts. This one has been a favourite for a while, so I might need to leave it stay. I know obviously it would fit in the winter sort of climate. I don't want to be cold. I think this would suit, so that's one that's going to stay. This one was probably not as exciting as the rest, but there's really not anything I dislike about it. I like the embroidery at the top. Oh, it's so hard. What I might do is rearrange my tabs in order of favourites, so I'm just going to slide this back. But this one, again, kind of nothing wrong with it, nothing bad, but also as pretty and as simple as it is, there's nothing too exciting. I'd like to see myself in it. Let's say, I think that might change my opinion on these, but obviously I'm only going to get to try them on once I buy them, so I might slide this back. Yeah. Now this last one, as many pros as I said, I just don't know. I almost wish that it was a slightly lighter colour in that base. The colours on the embroidery are really gorgeous, but now I'm second guessing myself. Which one is better? I might slide it back. But then on to the Matoshi ones. I'm going to be bold and just move that straight to the head of the list. I think I like that one the most. This one, oh my gosh. Second best, oh, okay. I've got a little short list, which means I need to boot some out, but I think that one's maybe my top contender. I think all around the fit, the sort of having a sleeve, the length, like obviously to be full length, I'll take it up. I think that it won't swarm me because it's not too much of a full skirt, and with some heels I think I can pull it off, and I think the colour will suit me. This next one is one that I've been looking at for a while, a little bit more traditional but still fun. It plays into that slightly medieval inspiration that I have, God knows why, but it just does. It appeals to me, and I think that one is also a contender. A bit more of a traditional one like I said, but still I like it nonetheless. I think I just want this one because it's pretty. That's like the only reason. I wish I could see what the back looks like though. I think that would definitely be suitable for the day, even though it's a bit more extravagant than some of the others. I think as at its right length, like at my height, it would work. I like this one, obviously. I think I definitely have that distinction between the Chotronette Dresses and the Matoshi. This is probably the top out of the Chotronette, obviously. Now, there are 4 at the end. I think I might just cut the last 4. A lot of pretty ones. Ones I'd love to wear on my wedding day, but if I'm really honest, I don't think I like them as much as the rest, so they're all going away. And now with that, I have 4 in a shortlist, so maybe out of these dresses, I could end up wearing one of these on my wedding day. Oh my gosh, and they're all kind of different too. So obviously pink, beaded. It's a unique style. I like the sort of cut of it. It reminds me of my Lana dress from Wheels and Doll Baby brand that I mentioned at the start of the video. There's this gorgeous pink sort of girly dress. It's slightly different, but just the bow around the waist and the cut of it and the sleeves makes me think of that. So that's a style that I already like, and this reminds me of it. The beads make it fun, and I think it's something that I could rewear. The white one, the most traditional out of the bunch, I'd say. I know that I've gotten feedback from friends and family, just because this one and then the last one on my list, the blueberry ice cream, is, or they're both ones that I've been looking at for a bit. So maybe that's a good sign. Final thoughts on this one, kind of the opposite to the previous one, the most different from being traditional. We can see I like a tulle sleeve, that's for sure. All of them have it in some capacity. But I really like this one. It's just so hard to know which one would be the best choice, and I wish I could try them on. But I think in the end, I'm just gonna make a gamble and pick something, but I'm not gonna be picking it yet today. Last one obviously is this blueberry ice cream one from Chotronette, and I love the style of it. Again, it's kind of traditional, not as much as the other white one, but just for its fit. And then it's basically a standard wedding dress with embroidery on top. I guess I've got some things to think about. I don't know how this video will go. It's probably going to be quite a long one, since I think I've been sitting here for an hour. But thank you for bearing with me on this video. I hope you found it kind of interesting or fun if you sat here and looked through dresses with me. I'd really like to know your feedback, just on which one you think is best. If you've got any other websites that you want to recommend to me, definitely let me know. I'm going to close my laptop at this point because honestly, I keep staring at those dresses, so it's time to shut that down. So I'm going to be wrapping it up here. I just wanted to thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. I think I just wanted to let one last final call out and ask if you have any feedback, please let me know in a comment down below. I'd love to know which of those 4 sort of final options that I picked you think would look best on me, or ones that I should pick. If there's sort of reasoning behind it, I'd love to hear your opinions. And if by chance there's other websites you would recommend that I check out, I'd love to hear about it. Or even other shortlist ones that I cut, if you think I should reconsider, let me know in a comment down below. But like I said, I will be leaving you here, so I just wanted to thank you once again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!